afternoon and thanks for joining us. I'm Judy Simpson. We begin today's program with a focus on the 45th annual Green Up Day. The Uniquely Vermont event is this Saturday, May 2nd. Joining me is longtime president of Green Up Vermont, Melinda View. It's great to have you back.
Thank you.
And so it's 45th anniversary of Green Up Day. That's amazing. And you have a very special event planned this year at the State House.
We do, and we encourage people to go to our Green Up Vermont website to check it out. It's called Dinosaur Days. We have a special person from Holland is coming over. She's going to create a chicken wire dinosaur on the State House lawn, and it will be filled with literally thousands of plastic bottles. And we're inviting all kinds of people to take part to help us fill this dinosaur. And the dinosaur is called Greenosaurus. And Greenosaurus, with a trash bag in his mouth in our graphic, says Green Up Vermont. So this dinosaur literally takes, are you ready, over 10,000 plastic bottles.
Wow.
Yeah. And Maria is her name. It's a very special woman. She, on a visit to Sierra Leone with Save the Children, she was so moved and so appalled with the trash, especially plastics, that's all over there. And she came back and has committed herself, she is an artist, to raising awareness about the importance of taking care of the earth. She calls it plastic soup and says, if we continue to dump plastics into Mother Earth, will she eventually just regurgitate plastic instead of good soil? So I really want to urge people to oh, and another thing to say, though, Maria also has an educational presentation. So she will be giving that during Dinosaur Days. And the important week for Dinosaur Days for people to come is the week after Green Up Day. It's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 6, 7, and 8 of May. And those are the days we're going to be filling the dinosaur.
And that's right on the State House lawn.
It is.
That's amazing that she is coming to Vermont.
It's very amazing. And she doesn't charge. I'm hosting her for 2 weeks.
Fantastic.
But she's so committed, and it's so important to us all paying attention to taking care of the planet. And it really fits with the whole green up ethic. I think that Governor Dean Davis, who launched it in 1970, would be proud.
And there's also a local teacher involved as well, too.
Yes.
And that's Barbara Hutchins?
Barbara Austin Hutchins. She actually is the art teacher for the student who won the poster design contest. And Barbara is all excited about this project. She's got students all excited about it. They're going to come and help Maria with the chicken wire. And there's a lot of work that goes into building the frame and putting the chicken wire all together in a certain way.
Tremendous opportunity.
Yes.
How can people participate in Saturday's Green Up Day?
Well, what they can do is go to the Green Up Vermont website and get involved, how to participate, and scroll down. We have a long list by county of every town and the name of the town coordinator. And we also have a lot of information about where to pick up bags, where to take bags, if there are going to be refreshments. So definitely visit the Green Up Vermont website.
So you were with us in February to discuss the new tax checkoff dedicated to Green Up. How long before you know how much money was raised through that effort?
The end of June. They won't tell us any sooner. And it's a very important thing, and it has given Vermonters who want to support Green Up an opportunity to do it easily. And it will continue to be on the tax checkoff. And so we're very hopeful that Vermonters' support will increase the pie chart of where funds come from to keep Green Up growing throughout.
And speaking of funds, you were able to secure some new corporate sponsors as well, which is really important.
We absolutely did, and Green Mountain Power stepped up to the plate with a 3-year commitment as a signature corporate sponsor and a major donation.
Now, volunteers are critical for Green Up Day. Roughly how many people do you expect are going to volunteer their time on Saturday?
The numbers now are 20,000.
Wow.
Just over, actually, 20,000. And we're encouraging people to please sign up to be counted, because we think actually that there are more than 20,000. That figure comes from our town coordinator reports that get returned. And guess what? 100% of those reports do not get returned. So people can also sign up on our website just to say that, to be counted.
Now, for several years, you've sponsored educational programs around Green Up Day, including a writing contest and a poster contest. The winner of this year's poster contest is Chloe Boyce. Chloe is a junior at Montpelier High School, and you're seeing her winning poster right here. What did the judges have to say about Chloe's work?
It's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
It is beautiful, and that's sort of the key word that we seem to be hearing from people. Clearly, Chloe paid a lot of attention with detail.
Now, Chloe was the overall state winner of the poster contest. The contest also recognized several other Vermont students by grade for their excellent work. We're going to show you those posters now. The winning poster in grade K through 4 was created by Carly Blood. Carly is a 3rd grade student at Blue Mountain Union School in Wells River. And grade 5 through 8, the winner was William Haywood. William is in 6th grade, and he too attends Blue Mountain Union School. The high school winner was 12th grader Jared Shepard. Jared is a student at Hazen Union High School in Hardwick. And finally, a statewide honorable mention was awarded to Charlotte Brace. Charlotte is a 10th grade student at Montpelier High School. And of course, in addition to the poster contest, Green Up Vermont sponsors an annual writing contest, and the winner of this year's contest is with us now. She is Ayla Fidel. Ayla is a 6th grader at Waitsfield Elementary School. Thanks so much for being with us, and welcome.
Thank you.
Now, would you please read your winning piece for all the folks at home?
Yeah. Every year on the first Saturday of May, many Vermonters join hands and help make our state a clean place. Green Up Day, hosted by Green Up Vermont, is an essential day for Vermont and the serene nature around us. It is a day every year when we get to give back to the earth and thank Vermont for all it gives us. Our beautiful lakes, rivers, ponds, mountains, trees, and wildlife. Green Up Day is also a day to reflect on global warming, what it is doing to the earth, and what we can do to help. Global warming is such a massive problem. We as individuals can do so much to help our planet. We just don't realize it in our day-to-day lives. To me, though, Green Up Day is especially about community. There's something really nice about getting your green bags from the same person each year. There's a certain feeling that you get in your heart when you see strangers, family, and friends coming together, helping the planet one step at a time. Green Up Day is that special tradition that is also a fantastic way to give back to our magnificent state. Sometimes it's the little things that help.
What a wonderful essay. You're a very good writer.
Thank you.
I think you should be a journalist, but that's just me. What inspired you to write this?
Well, it was a really good combination because I really like to write and I really care about the earth and cleaning up.
And what will you be doing on Green Up Day?
Well, I just moved to a new house, so I'm really excited to green up on my new road.
Fantastic. And now, if somebody, Linda, wants to get involved in this Saturday's Green Up Day, what should they do?
They should contact their town coordinator. They can do that, find out who that is, either by looking for the Green Up poster, and the coordinator's name is on it, or by visiting the greenupvermont.org website. And there's you can click on Get Involved, How to Participate, and scroll down. Every town is listed and with their coordinator and where to get bags.
Now, Ayla, we have about a minute left. Why do you think that kids should get involved in Green Up Day?
Well, it's really important, and especially I think kids can do a lot to help the earth, and yeah.
Are you surprised at how much trash you get at the end of the day?
Yeah, it's kind of disappointing how much trash we...
Well, I want to thank you for reading your essay and for participating in Green Up Day. I think that's wonderful.
Thank you.
And thanks, Linda, for joining us as well. Now, the maple sugaring season has come to an end, but research continues at the University of Vermont's Proctor Maple Research Center. To learn more, here's Across the Fence's Keith Silva.
In theory, maple sugaring hasn't changed for centuries. Put a hole in a tree, collect the sap, and boil. The difference nowadays is in the practice.
The image that many people have of maple sugaring is still that we're using a lot of buckets and tractors or horses to draw around a sledge, and that's really not the way maple is done any longer.
For 68 years, scientists at the University of Vermont Proctor Maple Research Center have studied and tested maple trees. What starts here as a question or observation becomes an experiment, which in turn leads to changes in the maple industry. Proctor Maple has helped in refining tools like tubing, vacuum pumps, and reverse osmosis to allow sugar makers to maximize yields and get the most out of the short and sweet season. Maple is all about flow. On average, it takes 40 years for a maple tree to be mature enough to tap. At least, that's what most of us used to think.
So we were doing an experiment looking at where sap comes from in the tree, particularly under vacuum. We understand quite well how sap moves in trees normally, but with vacuum we're moving the sap around quite a bit more. So during the course of that investigation, we found that for at least part of the flow period, we were pulling water right out of the ground, through the roots, up through the stem and out of the tap hole. And in doing that, we decided that if that were in fact true, that the top became immaterial. And so to test that, we went and cut the top off a small tree and started to pull vacuum on it to collect the sap, and then found out that we could, in fact, get quite a good amount of sap from the tree in that manner. It definitely does not appear anything like traditional maple sugaring, other than the fact that we're using tubing.
That's right, sap from saplings.
Certainly there are a lot of head scratches and what, sort of, oh, that's interesting. But, I think we thought about this and worked on this for a long time without really being able to talk about it.
The research into tapping saplings began in 2010. Abby Vandenberg worked with Perkins to make this discovery.
The fundamental level at which I operate is scientists interested in how trees work. And from that level, this has been, just a really neat research topic to explore. Does this work physiologically? What is the physiology involved? This is very similar in some ways to lots of other existing agriculture. So as someone interested in agriculture, it just kind of seems like a natural extension of practices that we already use. To me, this represents one other tool in the toolbox for producers that might have some obstacles to expanding their operation.
This technology is still years away from being commercially available. Vandenberg and Perkins expect this plantation approach will benefit sugar makers with land constraints, or as a way to recoup losses after storm damage in 7 years instead of 40. No matter how beneficial this approach may become, Perkins knows there'll be doubters.
I think the general public really just needs to understand more about the process. When they first hear about it, we're killing baby trees, and that it's something that they think might swamp the maple world with syrup and could harm maple producers, or that the syrup is going to be different. Well, it isn't. The syrup is exactly the same. It's made by trees. It's sugar they're just pulling out of a tree. In terms of killing young trees, this doesn't kill them. They actually do quite well. They'll continue to live for a long period of time. The perception is sometimes not the same as the reality, and I think people, once they understand the process, will accept it more.
No matter if a maple is stately or skinny, the sap won't run up or down without cycles of freezing and thawing. When it comes to sugaring, it's Mother Nature who gets the final say.
Over time, I think the plantation method is probably going to become more and more commonplace. It's going to take a long period of time. It's not going to happen overnight. It's similar in many ways to lots of other crops. So if you look at vineyards, very, very different than they were a long time ago. Apple orchards, very, very different. New technology changing all the time. Christmas tree plantations. If you would ask your grandfather about going to cut a Christmas tree, you would not have gone to a plantation. They just didn't exist back then. And now it's a very strong tradition for people to go out and cut their Christmas trees in a plantation. And so just over a couple of generations, things change. And we don't really perceive them because they're happening over that kind of time frame, but they do change quite a lot.
As this plantation method shows, the experiments at the Proctor Maple Research Center always sugar off to a greater understanding of the world around us. In Underhill Center, I'm Keith Silva with Across the Fence.
Well, thank you, Keith, and thank you for joining us. I'm Judy Simpson. I'll see you again next time on Across the Fence.